All right. Good afternoon. Would it be evening? I guess it's evening on the East time because it's 6:30.
6:30 over here. Yeah.
It's 5:30 for me, so I guess it's evening, right? I guess it's a little late for afternoon. I don't know what the Curb Your Enthusiasm Larry David thing is it because I know he has some certain sticks. So, but good evening, everyone. Welcome to an earlier edition of No Holds Barred Wrestling. We were scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern, but we said, screw it. We don't play by the rules. We're going to go
Hey,
6 p.m.
if Raw can be at 3 p.m., we can go to
Right?
6:30.
I love just turning on Twitter in the middle of the day and finding out something's going on Raw or SmackDown, and I'm like, whoa, wait a second. But we got a lot to talk about. WrestleMania season is upon us. There's a lot going on all over the place. But before we get into that, Josh, how are you, brother?
Man, I think we just spoke 30 minutes before the show about what we've been doing or what I've been doing the past week. It's spring break over here. I took some PTO Thursday, Friday. I've been playing WWE 2K, getting ready for the show, making my own storylines. Having a freaking blast with pro wrestling. We do have a lot to talk about, and we have not really spoken much since Cena. So I'm excited to talk about that with you today. So matter of fact, that was our text, I think. I'm like, dude, I'm ready to talk now. Like, let's go. And you're like, really? I'm like, yeah, like let's talk John Cena, buddy.
Yeah, I ended my date with my wife early. I was like, we got to go. Nope. Swallow the food. Let's move it. And so we did, and we are here. What's up,
What'd you guys
Nate
have?
D? We went to Back to Cuba. It's a restaurant in closer up to Nashville. Reminds me of my childhood. The food is amazing. I had today I had churrasco with black beans and rice. Usually I have ropa vieja, the black beans and rice, and I'll have a Cuban coffee. And but it was nice. I didn't really rush her out. I was like, because that's why we went early. Because I told her, I said, remember, the show's at 7. So if we're gonna do it, we got to go early because they're late bodies. They like to leave later. So she was like, I don't want to be rushed. But of course, then she forgets shit, and we have to turn around and go pick it up. And
Yep.
it's like, I forgot to take this. I'm like, oh
She's
my
probably
gosh.
watching. Hey, he doesn't
Yeah,
mean this.
I do. No, I do. No, I'm a heel. I'm okay. But no. But yeah, so man, I'm just excited to talk about all of this because there's so much going on, and make sure I'm not missing out on anything here.
I do want to preference this with saying
I had Finn's talk.
I didn't.
Yeah,
Oh, I did not watch SmackDown. On Real Talk Wrestling,
me neither.
we didn't have Real Talk Wrestling either. It was my wife's birthday. But on Real Talk Wrestling, I know Justin Toner, one of our friend of the shows, friend of the networks, is like, I watch all
Yep.
this stuff. He's in the chat with I watch all this stuff. I host a podcast. What I'm supposed to do? I'm like, guys, I don't do that. I'm a real wrestling fan, and I ain't got time to watch 15 hours of wrestling a week. So I pick and choose. I did tune into NXT though. That's what I was getting to. I substituted my SmackDown time with NXT time. I did tune in for Chelsea Green in that match over there on NXT. She's such. I know this is not on the rundown, but she's so good. Chelsea Green. I heard
Chelsea,
someone say she's. Yeah, I heard someone saying she's doing nothing with the title. It's boring. Yeah,
bullshit. That's
wrong.
bull crap.
She's done phenomenal work with this title, and I'm excited for it. I actually tuned into NXT for it, and I'm glad they put it on the first match of the night. That's all. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, Chelsea Green has been amazing, and I not just her in ring stuff, but her commentary. I mean, her promos, her character. I just love that she just goes with the whole. She has the Secret Service now. I mean,
Yep.
and then what she just does in the ring is it's just great.
And the crowd's into it. They pledged. They did the pledge of allegiance during her
Did
match.
they?
Whole crowd. Yeah.
That tells you, man. So whoever said that does not know what the hell they're talking about, but that's okay. Nobody's perfect. Is that cup green?
It's teal, like
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like
See,
blue,
so I can't wear dolphin stuff during the show now. I have to.
right? Yeah,
It
it's difficult.
sucks. It is. So I wear this. I mean, I wasn't going to wear dolphin stuff to the show, but I have to wear bland stuff now. But anywho, let's run it down, man. So very quick though, I just want to ask you before we get into our topics here. WWE 2K. You've been playing it for a while now. Your verdict.
It's great. It's probably the second best game they've ever put out. Um, so far. There's other games, obviously, back in the day, back when we were younger, that they put out. No Mercy, all those games, WrestleMania, those are way better. But as far as this game, as far as the new technique and the new, I guess, 2K versions, so good. So many customizable things. I love community creations already. Since day one, you could download Mercedes Monet, John Mox, all these guys, and they look so realistic. I downloaded Kenny Omega. He's my champion in my universe. He ain't losing that title. And he has the move set, dude. He has the freaking move set. He's got the V trigger. He's got the one wing angel. Like he's got it all. I don't know how he's got the entrance with the. I don't know how these people do it. I don't know how these people mod these characters.
It's crazy. So you got PS5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there's a few what do we call these? Content creators? Are they content creators or no? What are they? What's the status is the best one. I mean, he is every time he puts somebody up, I'll make sure I like it just so I could go back to it later. I know he just made Moxley. I saw Kenny Omega. Of course, you have to. Sometimes he uses stuff because he has everything. He uses certain gear that you have to make sure you win in order to get it. But no, there's a lot of good ones. Like again, I have to go back now and I'll download that. Let me ask you, what are you using though? Are you using these guys in the WWE format, or did you download AEW's Arena? Okay, straight up
WWE.
Okay, so it's
Raw.
like
I'm running Raw. I moved NXT to Thursday, and it's an all women show. And I got SmackDown on Friday still. And then I run all the pay-per-views. I'm already about 2 years in. I'm actually about my second Royal Rumble. I'm in my second Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And Kenny Omega won the Royal Rumble last year. He's a champion still. Reigning, defending. He had a freaking last man standing match versus Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania where he was victorious. Bro, it was a banger. I'm having so much fun. Like just talking about this right now. I'd rather be here with you guys. But after this, I'm gonna go play.
Well, I'll say this too. One thing I really like, it's just a very subtle little change that I like is when you do the run in or the attack, it doesn't do it where you have to get out of the ring and then go and do it like run around and then hit them from behind, or you have to run down the ramp and hit them. If you press run in when they're coming down the ramp, it's a cutscene, which is awesome. I think it's perfect. And then it gets into it. So just those little changes. But yeah, Big D says Green had a hardcore match. It was dope. She looked really good dressed up like Cactus Jack. If somebody's not really familiar with her work outside of WWE and now in WWE, she's great. I told my daughter, the character reminds me a lot of my daughter, the way she is, like, but because my daughter's a diehard Rhea Ripley. We actually had to buy like a almost $30 Rhea Ripley toy the other day. My daughter's old enough that she doesn't really care for toys, but because it was Rhea Ripley, she was like, she's into art right now, drawing and stuff, but she was like, we have to get it. So we got it. But I told her, I was like, she does her makeup like Rhea Ripley, and when she's home. But I'm like, it's not Rhea, dude. It's Chelsea. I said, and now she's like, I actually kind of like Chelsea. I was like, I told you, trust me. She's fun, dude. She's a cool chick and she's a badass, legitimate. But anyway, talking about badass, let's talk about a bad guy now, which is weird to say, but it was very, first off, before what happened at the Elimination Chamber, there was talk. We talked about the possibility of a John Cena versus Cody Rhodes match. We know, like the SG label and so forth. You even threw up a good point. Some people are like, man, okay, I get it. Like for you, but it's like good guy versus good guy. Am I supposed to be interested in that? Blah, blah, blah. The Elimination Chamber happens, and the way they closed it out was perfect. The turn was perfect. The Rock being involved was perfect, and it made you give a damn. You're now interested in what's happening, and we're all intrigued by John Cena and what's going to happen next. He finally shows up, and no ring, no gear change, no music change, which I get. Okay, whatever. It didn't really rub me any wrong way or nothing like that. I love how he controlled the crowd to start off the promo. He just stood there and people were just booing the hell out of him. And you had, or let's go Cena, Cena sucks, let's go Cena. And he's eating it up. And there's only a few guys that can do that. There's only a very few guys that can control a crowd like that. It's funny though, these heels nowadays, and he kind of followed that when you listen to him. Like at first, obviously he was very aggressive. I think at certain points overly aggressive, You know, it's kind of like, okay, you know. But at the same time, though, if you actually listen to what he's saying, he ain't wrong. I mean, there's some truth to what he's saying. You know, how do you guys not see this coming? You guys have been shitting on me this whole time. And finally now I'm gonna look, and he goes, your time is up, my time is now. And I think that really sold it. First of all, I mean, his diehards, he loves the kids and his kid fans. And man, you got that one kid who looked like the guy from WrestleMania when Undertaker lost, the kid with the, that kid's will be famous now. I mean, pointing him out, he wore the exact same gear as John Cena. I didn't hate it. I thought it may be different. It was I mean, I thought it may have been different, but obviously he went another route. I don't hate it. I'm intrigued to see how it continues, but I think it made Cody look strong too. Cody comes out, John goes, "Kid, listen," and then Cody, "No," and Cody goes at him. So the people that were hating on this beforehand, or they were like, "I don't know if I'll care." I think they care now. I know I do. I'm very excited for this match. I just hope we see a little more of John Cena and the heel version, and let's see him do some heel things, whether that's attacking Cody or maybe beating on maybe R-Truth or whomever, doing something that makes him totally reprehensible. But I know, he's so funny, dude. He's hilarious with his tweets, yeah, man, I was down with it. I mean, I think wrestling is so freaking good right now with John Cena's promo, but obviously CM Punk, nobody could touch him. We saw what happened at the end of Raw with the cage match. We're going to discuss that in a little bit, but John Cena is it all, man. What did you think? You saw what happened in the Elimination Chamber. You were down with it. John Cena finally cuts his first heel promo in over 20 years. What did you think about his promo on Raw?
Okay. Man. I'm not over the moon about it like everybody else is. The promo. I like the premise of him being a heel. I like the premise of him turning. That's fine. We said Cody versus Cena, babyface versus babyface would not work. Cena turning heel, great. I'm here for it. I'm all for it. Follow the same, way Roman did. Not that Cena needed to get over with the fans. He already was. But hey, it worked for him. It worked for everybody that turns heel these days. It's awesome. People love the heels. People want to root for the heels. It's cooler to be the heel this day. Why was Dwayne involved? To me, it seems like Dwayne showed up just like he did last year. Said, I want to be involved. Why? Because I'm Dwayne. I'm the boss. I'll do what I want. I'm involved. This could have happened without Dwayne. It would have been bigger without Dwayne. There was no mention of The Rock at all in this promo. Not once. This could have all been, if this was a story all along, and they wanted to shoehorn The Rock in there just because he's The Rock, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. John Cena could have won the chamber. Cody could have came out like he did, shake his hand, celebrate. You're one of my guys I look up to. John Cena could have done the point thing or whatever, hug him, kicking the balls, same reaction. And then I would have liked this promo a little bit more. So why did you turn heel? Because The Rock bought you? Or because you're sick of the fans? Which one is it? Because at the Elimination Chamber, it looked like you were under the trance of The Rock. Then you come on Raw, and it has nothing to do with The Rock. That's where my problem is. There's a huge hole there. And I don't know if they're going to fill it before WrestleMania at all. So, yeah, if you take The Rock's involvement out, the promo was great. Made sense. I enjoyed it. Cody comes out there. You're not John. Where's the guy on the t-shirt? I look forward to wrestling John Cena, not this guy. So that's the story. Cody's going to turn him. Cody's going to let him see after John wins, Cody's going to fight it back and help John see the light. That's how I see it happening. We didn't need Dwayne. And I'll say this again. I'll say it another way. This doesn't need Dwayne yet. If he doesn't get involved between now and WrestleMania, why did you waste our time with him? Could have just been Cena. Now Cena looks like he's a little bitch under Dwayne. Now he doesn't even bring him up. That to me is a problem. And it's not a Triple H problem. It's not a John Cena problem or Cody. It was The Rock being The Rock and saying, I just need to be here, just like he did last year. We don't need that. You don't need to be ruining WrestleMania plans. Thank goodness this is working. Thank goodness I'm excited for this match because the promo was great. Everything was good. The fans were hot. People were like, why didn't he come out Monday night, the night after? This was the perfect setting overseas. Probably the first time and the last time those people will ever see him. That adds to the disrespect of the fan base. That's awesome. I'm here for it, man, but I don't know how many dastardly things he's gonna do. I don't know. Well, you got to see him get his hands dirty during this 4 weeks.
You hit the nail on the head, and it's a great point to bring up because of The Rock. Because it's true. That is a knock. I'm with you on that, because if he wasn't involved, it is a great promo. Because John Cena never mentioned it one time, not why, Dwayne and I've had our differences, or he sees who I am, and he offered me something about whatever it could have been, it should have been added in there, because then now you make it important. He didn't do that, so it is an interesting thing. It's like WWE seems to do that, and maybe you're right. It is a Dwayne problem. It is a Rock problem, because he's done it where one minute he's the heel, and the next minute he's like, oh, I'm friends with everybody, and leaves, and then comes back and does it again. Does that take away from this match? No, I think it's, I think John Cena and Cody are going to tear the roof off. I think heel Cena is going to eat. I just hope, like you said, he gets his hands dirty. But I think you're hitting the nail on the head, man. That's what takes away from this promo is, what does The Rock have anything to do with this? Why was he involved? Why did you need him to turn heel? You don't need him to turn heel. And if you do need him, why did he turn you heel? So now there are some things that they didn't mention, but people start to pick up on, with this John Cena doing the same thing as The Rock did throughout certain, instances he appeared. The Rock doing the 1, 2, and 3, and then he did that again, and then Cena shows Cena had done it in the past, and who knows how long this has been building. I really don't. I mean, I know they love long-term storytelling now, but I very much doubt that that's been that long-term, that Cena was like, I'm going to turn heel at my last run. And maybe it was, and maybe Rock's like, yeah, let's freaking do this. I'm going to ride with you on that. But it has, I agree with you. That's probably the biggest missing piece in that promo that takes away from it. Other than that, it was great. It sold it. I mean, and the kids' faces, all the kids, not just that one kid, all the kids, you could see the hate and the broken heart, and that's what you want to do. And that's what he did. And that's what showed you why he is who he is, and why guys want to be him. And I'll tell you what, this is huge for Cody Rhodes. Win, lose, or draw, it's crazy to think that the ultimate babyface is going to be Cody's ultimate heel in this situation. That's what's crazy to me. So I heard Cena's shaving his head bald in the next promo. I don't know. I didn't hear that. Did you think, would have wanted, now that Cap said that, Cap, what's up, brother? Label, I see he's popped in here. Big D, what's up? As always, brother. Were you disappointed that Cena didn't change anything, like his gear or do you care?
At first, I was like, oh, what is this? And then when he said in the promo, that is my music. These are my clothes. This is he's pretty much saying, I don't care what you guys think. This is all about me. So I'm keeping my stuff I like. I'm not changing for you, because I've already changed for you countless times. It works with the story. Why change again? He's changed his whole career. He said it. I changed. Yeah. You didn't like this, so I changed. You didn't like this, so I changed. And it wasn't good enough for you. So he's like, I'm not changing no more. I think it's perfect. Done. I think it's great.
Awesome. All right.
Before we go,
yeah,
I do have to say something. DSG, stop hating on Cena, bro. This is good and it's interesting. Would you want babyface versus babyface? So can they just jerk each other off together? Oh, my father says you were this and that. And no, we don't need this. My daughter, who hasn't watched wrestling in forever because she hasn't been here with me for a while, we're watching the opening of Raw together, and she doesn't know who Cody Rhodes is. And I don't know if Bobby's frozen or if he's still.
It looks like I am. What the hell? All right.
But she she okay, I'll say it by myself. So she was watching
I'll
the
be right
Raw
back.
with me, and there was a opening segment of like that broke down what happened at the Elimination Chamber, and it's got Cody's promos and his poetry and his grandeur and his 5-piece suits and his yada yada yada, showing the whole thing. And my daughter's just watching, going like, and she's 15, she's a freshman in high school, and this is when she said, "Hey Josh, when did they let little girls wrestle in the men's division? Speaking of Cody." And I'm like, whoa, she doesn't even know who this guy is. And she's like, this guy's just talking in riddles and poems and all this bullshit. And then she sees his face, and then she busts out laughing because she's like, what is Freddie from Scooby freaking Doo doing on wrestling TV? And I lost my mind. It was the coolest thing ever. I wish Bobby was here to see that, listen to that. But we love Cody in this situation. I like what he said to John Cena. Pretty much put him in his place. Who is this John? This isn't the guy I want to wrestle, which gives me hope that John Cena will win this title, and Cody's chase will not only be chasing the title back, but changing John Cena's direction. You missed my daughter called Cody Rhodes the Freddy from Scooby Doo. And she asked me when did little girl start wrestling in the men's division?
Damn.
And why is he speaking in riddles and poetry? She does not like Cody.
Damn.
She's never seen Cody in her life, but
there you go. What's up, Anthony? Anthony Manzano in the house. Big D. Yeah, Cena's putting up cryptic tweets for months before he turned. I think it's leading to Stone Cold Steve Austin showing up to support Cody somehow. We'll see. We'll see. I know Austin has talked about that. I don't know how much involvement they're going to have into that main event. We'll see how it pulls out. Anthony says, Josh, I feel that John Cena was justified in that promo. He honestly felt like he was getting unnecessarily booed by the fans and saying he was destroying your talent, charisma, when it wasn't his fault.
Many stories have come out how he wanted to bury the Nexus, and he did. He's not Mr. Innocent. He's buried multiple.
Can I break some news to everyone? Most of, if not all of the top guys are not innocent. They're not. It's not just a Hulk Hogan thing, people. John Cena was like that. Stone Cold Steve Austin was like it. The Rock currently is like that. Shawn Michaels, they're all like that. That's how they get on top. That's how they stay on top. They're very picky about who they work with. It's just what it is. I mean, and kudos to them. There's guys that don't get that way and they're not around long enough. I mean, it's just what it is. Who was it? They were just talking about, they were like CM Punk. He didn't want Roman Reigns to be involved in the Shield. He was lobbying for, who was it? I'm trying to remember who it was. Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, of course, Seth Rollins, and it was someone else. It wasn't Roman. And people are trying to say like, oh, they should bring that up. I don't think you need to bring it up. I don't think you really need to add that to this story. It's a great story already. Mm-hmm. But John Cena is not the only guy who's been that way, because I've heard that too. And it was the guy with the Miz. There was a guy with the Miz at one point who said that John Cena did not like him, and that's why he got fired. So I'm trying to remember that guy's name.
The guy who did the cartwheels.
Not Damien Sandow. Not Sandow. It was the guy before when he was the champion. I'm trying to remember his name, and I can't remember it. They were like, "Oh, he's the next big thing. He was going to be. He had star potential." Everybody loved to say that, but when I watched him, I was like, "Did he? I didn't see no star potential from sidekick."
We can't even remember his name.
That's exactly. I'm like, what are we talking about here? But well, it's because John Cena buried him. It's like whatever, But don't all the top guys. None of them were like, "Oh, we're going to be, let's lift others up." Only the mid ones say that. 3 ways to clusterfuck. Every vet talks about how bad.
Let's get to a 3-way. Let's get to a 3-way that I'd like to be involved with.
Man, you're using all this. You're jerking and 3 ways. And what's the matter with you, bro?
He says 3 ways. He said 3 ways are a cluster F.
Triple threat.
Let's get to
triple
3-way dance, as someone calls it. Some
promotion. Oh, there you go. There we go. Yeah. So let's talk about top stars. We said The Rock is fitting himself in, and who knows what's, Charlotte, should she be there where she is now? Rhea drops the title to Io Sky. What could be a shock, right? I mean, Bianca won the Elimination Chamber, which you called. And so it was going to be Bianca and Rhea. Cool. Nope. Io Sky takes it, and now it's Io versus Bianca. Well, you have this whole shtick now where Rhea's involving herself in the match. She signed the paper. Obviously, it's going to lead to the triple threat between Rhea, Bianca, and Io. Which me, I have no. I'm all about letting it play out. Let's see how it goes and go from there. I do like that Bianca brought a little bit of reality to it, where she tweeted like, how do you not win the Rumble? You don't win the Elimination Chamber, yet you find yourself in one of the World Championship matches at WrestleMania. I love that. I love that because that makes people go, damn, she's right. And now they're hating. And now, does this mean Rhea's starting to turn heel again? Is she going to be a heel moving forward and rather be the good guy, good girl, whatever you want to call it? It's interesting. For me, I see a lot of people complaining that Rhea's involved in this match. I do think, obviously, yeah, if Rhea wasn't, you could fit her somewhere. She could have a solo match with somebody and still it would be a marquee matchup. But I don't think she's out of place in being this match. I think you could fit her in, and it's going to be a great triple threat. How do you feel about Rhea Ripley being involved in this matchup?
Before I move on, Anthony, I am well aware, but I am also well aware company men will say company things to keep their job or to promote in their own company. And why get more heat on something that's 20 years old? So I don't believe it, but whatever. So yes, I think Io is the one who's the odd person out. You have Rhea out of place, question mark. Io is out of place, question mark. Doesn't it seem like she's there to be the clown, getting pushed around, stiff armed by both women constantly? The butt of the joke. I am the champion. Just like being some kind of Vince McMahon version of an Asian women wrestler. What happened to the Io Sky of Damage Control? She looks like she's a stooge out there compared to these big women. She's little. She needs to stand out. She needs to stick up for herself. She hasn't done it yet. Yeah, she did slap him. I understand that. But man, last week she looked like such a clown. Back to Ripley. She's not a heel, bro. Taking that paper and signing her name on it. You don't think Stone Cold Steve Austin has done that a time or two and he's ever been booed? No, brother. That's a babyface thing to do, edgy thing to do. People love that. People love it. I loved it. I thought it was cool. I hate contract signs. When she came out there, Adam Pearce right away, realistic. Get out of here. What are you doing? What? Nothing like the music stops and they just look, huh? No, he actively did what a real person would do. No, we're not doing this tonight, girl. Get out. Get out. Everything is real. Bianca's acting like a real person. The only one that's not is Io. She's acting like a clown. But I think this triple threat match, this women's title match, is the superior one because you have Rhea Ripley involved. She is the megastar. She is the women's, like the prototype of a women wrestler right now. She's dominating, and I think she has to come out victorious in this championship match. She has to, right? There's no way.
So my wife just messaged me. I'm assuming she's talking about Audrey, but I'm gonna say this because it make you laugh. She's trying to argue me. She's trying to argue with me about being outside. I'm going to smack the Rhea Ripley off her face. And the reason why she says she's going to smack the Rhea Ripley off her face is because my daughter has makeup. You bring up Io Sky, and I see Big D's comment. And we'll talk about it. But Io Sky, you bring up a great point, another great point. But maybe that's the purpose. She is the champion, so she automatically should be there. That's what makes her not out of place. She's the champion.
Right.
But they are treating her like she's supposed to be out of place. That now that infamous, famous, whatever you want to call it, push in the face twice, and then she smacked the out of them. I think it is to make her look like an afterthought. So that way, when WrestleMania comes, she runs laps around him and eventually comes out on top and looks legit. And she could be having that kind of Daniel Bryan type of moment. She's the she's the Oompa Loompa to the Giants in that ring, respectfully. She's awesome. Io's awesome. But size-wise, she doesn't look like she should match up with either one of these two. So, and them not taking her seriously, they're going to have to take her seriously at WrestleMania. She's going to step up. Rhea is the female Hulk Hogan. Are you thinking she politicizes politicized her way into this match? I don't think so. Is that what I think that's what you were trying to say? I don't
I
think
think
Ripley.
that's the woman on Friday night. B McD. She's a little bit taller. She's got blonde hair.
Oh, geez,
She's been divorced 3 times already.
Manzano says, I don't think Ripley is Hogan. They're trying to build her like Beth Phoenix. Phoenix was like that at the top of her powers in WWE, even when she was always getting rematches. Well, they got rematches because McMahon loved rematches. He loved retelling the same story over and over and over again. And you go with what's safe. You don't try to build new people up. I
They're
think
building her like Austin.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think that's exactly what it is. And the fans love her. And I don't think she's stale. I think she might get stale as a face. She needs to go back as the heel, or maybe kind of that gray line type of area and try to take that role. Kind of like what Becky Lynch did for a while. Or Punk.
Punk did it.
But no, I wouldn't say she's the
Seth.
female Hulk Hogan.
Seth's doing it.
Bobby, you guys were asking who the original plan for Shield it was. Chris Hero. Thank you, Anthony. Go ahead.
Bianca and Jade is the money. Yes, she said it, and it's true. It's not Naomi and Jade. It's Bianca and Jade.
No.
And we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
It's going to go down. It's just not going to go down at WrestleMania. But let's move on to another triple threat, and that is Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Any one of these guys could be in the main event at WrestleMania or in the world title picture. Cody versus CM Punk, Cody versus Roman, Cody versus Seth, or anybody against Jay. Or it could happen. But no, you're going to get a CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins match at WrestleMania. And we know the story between Roman and Seth. That could go on forever, and you're always going to give a damn because of how personal it feels. I mean, that is some long-term storytelling. These two guys, they're like, and Seth has said it. Roman's my brother. I came into this business with him, but right now we're on 2 different paths, and we don't like each other. He really sticks with the whole thing about not liking Phil. He hates CM Punk. When they go at each other, it looks real. I saw the brawl, quote unquote. I like what CM Punk said, and because CM Punk states the obvious. He told Roman last night, I know you didn't see SmackDown. I saw that segment. I saw a couple segments. I have to go back and watch the Stratton Charlotte one because they had where they did the video conference next to each other, kind of like how you and I are right now. And supposedly Charlotte ran all over her. So, but I don't know. I have to watch it. But Seth and Roman were talking to each other, and Seth told him, man, I'm not who I am without you. You're not who you are without me. And we've been in this together. And it looked like they were about to go at it. And here comes CM Punk, and he tells Roman, hey man, I didn't screw you. I don't know if your wise man needs to remind you, but the Royal Rumble is every man for himself. And he said, you wouldn't even be in the Royal Rumble if it wasn't for me saving your ass. And you kind of go, and he goes, don't forget, Paul, you owe me a favor. Don't forget about that favor. And then Paul goes, now? And that's when Sam, of course, you get that little, wait a minute, So I'm going to be honest, man. I understand there's some people who are really hurt, if you want to use that phrase, since we're going, 3-way and jerk around and everything else. I'll just say butthurt. We'll just keep going here with all these innuendos. These sus words. Over CM Punk not getting the main event at WrestleMania. Here's what I would say. And they actually both mentioned this recently. Is the main event actually the last match in the card? Does it have to be? Or is it the match? And I'll be honest. First off, I think this could be a last match on the card. I think this should be the last match. Night 1. Main event, night 1. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, because it's that big. First off, it's not just the star power in this match. It's the story behind this match. Mm-hmm. And as much as, of course, watching, if Gunther's going to is going to retain the title, it should not main event tonight. If Jey Uso wins the title, maybe yes, then you should main event night 1 because the fireworks to close out everything else. If we see that CM Punk and Roman and Cody, I'd be very surprised if Jey Uso wins the title on night 1. Do you think this should be the real main event?
No,
Okay.
no. There's a triple threat match we just talked about that I'm more excited for than this. It's for a
Ooh.
title.
Wow.
It's for because it's for something. This isn't for anything. If I want to watch two guys, just or three guys or four, if I just wanted to watch a match with no story, I'm sure there's story, right? But a goal, a wanting, a something. You know, at least Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre there. You took the title from me. You cashed in on me. You screwed me. At least there's something there. This is just three guys that hate each other. Sure, it's great, but I want WrestleMania Night 1 to end with Jey Uso winning the title, and that should be the main event. If you're going to change the title, like you just said, if you're going to change a title, yes, main event. How lame would it be if that's the first match of the night, Jey Uso celebrates, and we still have 4 hours of other stuff to do? That should be the closing segment. Your number one merch seller, the guy who's been the Royal Rumble winner, he should win the title. And I could see this opening night too. I could see this match right here opening night too. Getting that show off to a bang. And then having maybe some kind of consequences to the main event. I don't know. Who knows? But
so let me ask you a follow-up one then. And just to ask, because we know how much CM Punk has professed his desire to be the main event at WrestleMania. And I've seen people so sad, depressed over the fact that he's not getting it. Are you bothered by him not being in the main event at WrestleMania at all?
get over it. You know, I want a lot of things. No, for real. Like, get over it. And I'm sure he's over it too.
I believe you.
To be there.
I agree.
Yeah.
You're in a big time matchup. I mean, but I think, yeah. But I'm with you. If Jey Uso's going to win the title, he has to main event night 1. Close it out with him with the fireworks and everything, and go from there.
Yeah, they're saying DSG saying my man's a Yeet 24-hour transitional champ.
Transitional champ.
He is not going to hold this title long because he's not a long-term champion.
No.
Logan Paul is taking that title off Jey Uso. You heard it here first. I'm telling y'all. I am telling y'all. I'm telling you.
So
Logan Paul is going to win this match at WrestleMania, and he's going to continue on to SummerSlam. He's winning King of the Ring.
In a perfect scenario, in a perfect world, this triple threat would be Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose. But it's not a perfect world.
Who's that?
I'm getting to it.
Yeah, I know.
So instead of this being what should be one of the main matches here on WrestleMania, it's this one, which I'm not against. I'm excited for this matchup. I'm excited for the build of this matchup, and where it's going to go from there. Because obviously there's another story to be told with this. But where is Dean Ambrose? Do you remember where he's at? That's right. He's in the other one. What's that other company called?
No, Dean Ambrose is dead. Jon Moxley is live. I could take this over, guys.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I had to watch this match. I wasn't gonna watch this match. I don't watch Dynamite much anymore. I try not to. As soon as I turned on, so Thursday morning I turn on YouTube and I see Stevie Richards and all these other podcasts. And Moxley's insane. Did Moxley go too far? What's going on in AEW? I didn't go on beyond that. I didn't see this image. There was no image. There was nothing. I just saw headlines. Gotta watch the match. Let's see what happens. As soon as Adam Copeland brings out his stupid spike weapon, I lose interest immediately every single time he does it because it's phony, it's fake, it looks stupid to me. I don't buy it. This is the first time it's ever been used in real life. He suplexed Jon Moxley onto these railroad spikes. And as you see, no, guys, it's not just there by physics. It's stuck in his back. Wheeler Yuta and the referee were sitting there trying to pull this off this man's skin like they're doctors or physicians or professionals or they're just all idiots. Complete morons. And this is why you lost your viewership, because of stuff like this. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I'm surprised that Adam Copeland agreed to do this. This is a perfect prime example of don't let your talent do whatever they want on the TV show. And Tony Khan's have talked about this before. He said recently after Revolution, I believe, or whatever the last pay-per-view was, I have to start saying no to people. And I have been saying no to people. And that's why the shows have been better. He mentioned back to the 2020, 2019 days, the shows are getting like that. And they are. Dynamite's getting a lot better when I do tune in because Tony Khan's saying no to people. He's got to say no to Moxley because Moxley's a complete moron, like a complete doofus. And stuff like this at 9:30 p.m. on TBS is not what I want to see or my kids to see, or I'm sure the advertisers don't want to see this crap. This is the reason why you're down in the dumps. This is the reason why you have no viewership. This is the reason why you lost viewers like me. Chris Koffler, co-host of Real Talk Wrestling, he stopped watching wrestling. He stopped watching forever ago. He missed about 15 years of wrestling. He came back for AEW because he was excited that there was a new change, a new shift, a new alternative. He has now given up. He doesn't watch AEW anymore. He watches WWE now because it's better. And a lot of other people have.
Well, there you go.
Because they don't want to put up with bullshit like this. You know what? The cage match between Rollins and CM Punk at Madison Square Garden with no blood, no weapons, no BS was 10 billion times better than this clown show we had to watch on Dynamite. This is bad. This is why you're an embarrassment. That's it.
I don't think there's much to be said other than that. I thought it was very cringeworthy. I mean, it did its job. It was a shock effect for anybody who was watching. I saw it on Twitter, so I know the match is on YouTube. I haven't watched it. I will, but I did see that move, and it looked bad. But I mean, I saw when they were trying to pull it out, and it looked. I just couldn't see it anymore. I was like, that's not wrestling at that point. It's just stupidity. It's stupid. It's stupid. And now you have fans who are paid money. They're watching you trying to take that out of the back. There's nothing going on in the ring except watching this spiked back or whatever it is get pulled out of this guy's skin. That's what's wrong with AEW.
It doesn't matter if they're rubber nails, DSG. It doesn't matter. It's still penetrating his body. And when they were pulling, they had the camera shot on his back. When they were pulling it off, the skin was getting taken off as well. I don't need to see that. I don't care. I don't care if they're rubber nails. I don't care if they're real nails. I don't care if it's real glass. Try me. I know.
It's okay, DSG. It's all good, brother.
I love you. I do. It's just I am so, and Anthony says it perfectly right here. You know, that's why some hardcore fans are turning on the product.
Yeah.
They are. I am.
Yeah, and Tony cares more about the pop than he does. It's true. I mean, again, how many people were going to sit there and watch that on TV? I saw it. I'm like, it's like, and like you hit the nail on the head though when it comes to kids. Do I really? My son tries to see AEW a lot more, and he does because he, obviously Tony Storm. But do I really want my son seeing this? No, I don't want seeing this. I can see a hardcore match, and oh my goodness, these little things here and there. This is ridiculous. Go do this go do it in the backyard wrestling or something. Go do it somewhere else where, you can watch it in a trailer park somewhere. Why watch it here? I'm sorry. This was ridiculous.
You know, the saddest part is about this is they have it made. They have a TBS. They have a good slot at 8 p.m. They have legitimate wrestlers. They have Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, who could, if he was under guidance, if he was under a real booker, you have all this talent. You have all these things, and you have all this money, and this is what you do with it. It's like giving an 18-year-old kid $5 million and saying, you know what? Go do whatever you want, idiot. You know what they're going to do? They're going to buy some stupid Mustang. They're going to go out every night. They're going to have bottle service. They're going to have ice. They're going to have chains. They're going to do this. They're going to have a blast. And guess what? It'll be gone. Just like AEW is going to be gone. Just like TNA went out. I mean, they're still in business, but like they have this. TNA was at a point where they were up there competing head to head. Then what happened? These companies, they just don't know the model. They don't know how to keep or retain. And it's hard, though, to compete with WWE. When WWE got better, we all went back to WWE full time. And I said it up front. There's 12 hours of wrestling a week, or 14 or 15. You got to pick and choose. In those hours I wasn't watching Raw, I was watching Dynamite. Now those hours I was watching Dynamite, I'm watching Raw. Simple as that. Simple.
And
he doesn't care.
that's the thing too. You're right though. All this TV, they got HBO, they got TNT, they have all these programming, and they really could be the second legitimate right there with WWE in regards of just talent. You know, I mean, they got the talent, they have and they got veterans in there that can kind of point people in the right direction. But it just let it ramp right. And like you said, first off, Edge, Adam Copeland, not call him Cope. That's the stupidest damn name in the world. I do. Here comes Cope. What?
They said Adam Copeland, or no, they said Cope, also known as Adam Copeland. That's how they say it now. That's how they say it.
That's so stupid. That's so dumb. But anyway, whatever. Yeah, they went too far. I'm not going to say too much about it more than I did already because Josh took every word out of it and it's perfect for it. Now go back to WrestleMania. The card is becoming a little more clearer. This is what we know so far. Or what, we know it's John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, Gunther versus Jey Uso, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, Io, Bianca, more than likely Rhea Ripley, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. That was announced last night. Priest and McIntyre, Stratton, Charlotte Flair. I think Naomi versus Jade Cargill is going to come down. Let me ask you this: what do you think of the card so far, and what would you like to see added?
Oh, perfect. I didn't know about the added part. Cool. 4-way match, ladder match with all the tag teams on SmackDown. They've been trading the belts, DIY, Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns. And I know there's a fourth. I forgot who the fourth was. I'm sure someone could tell me, but that'd be cool to see. We haven't seen one of those in a while. Like a straight up TLC style match, like the Dudleys and Hardys and Edge and Christian. Let's throw those guys because they have all been trading the titles. That's pretty cool. Other than that, Chelsea Green, I mean, she's got stuff going on, but she's been dealing with Meechin forever. So if they're going to do something with her, it's got to be soon. It's only about 3 or 4 weeks to go. Valkyrie, she hasn't done anything with the Intercontinental title, so I don't know what you can do with her there. But other than that, I think the matches are pretty set to me. There's nothing else I could add other than that. The tag team match.
Yeah, no, I think the tag titles need to be used. I think you're right. This is where, especially if there's people like that don't have a story or they're building up, obviously Naomi, Jade Cargill, that could, that will probably be, but like you just brought up the tag matches. What's going to happen with the US title and what happens with Solo and Jacob Fatu? Is that going to happen now? Or are they going to wait on that? Or will Jacob Fatu have a match against LA Knight? Will Jimmy Uso have a match against LA Knight? Who's going to be LA Knight's opponent? Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and I think they're going to do a triple threat there. See what goes on there.
Threats, man.
I know it. But I think also, like, you might be able to use this, like those ones who don't have stories, those champions. Okay, let's have that interdivisional, brand matches. U.S. champion versus the Intercontinental champion. Who comes out on top? Doesn't have to be for the title, it'll just be for supremacy. I think that would be a kind of cool way to go if you don't have room. What does AJ Styles do? I think I read something he might have a match with Logan Paul. That might be interesting. That would be fun. That might steal a show night one. I don't mind the card. I'm excited for it. Obviously, but yeah, it's. I don't think it's done. I would like to see. I'm intrigued to see what happens with the women's US title match because I'm really into I can't believe I'm forgetting Chelsea Green. Chelsea. That's how I figured. That's how I remember. I just heard her name in my head and I was like, it's Chelsea. See where they go from there. I know NXT has their own pay-per-view that weekend, but I would love to see. Yeah.
Penta and Braun Breaker for the.
There you go. Penta and Braun. There you go. There's the IC title match for the men.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah. So, and what are they going to do? Like 5 matches per night?
I hope
think.
so.
I think that's what they're going to do.
Intermissions in between each match.
Yeah.
That's what they usually do. No, it's perfect. I like that because it gives you time to get up and go do that. I wasn't clowning the new format. It's literally like a 30-minute match and like a 15-minute intermission, which cools down the crowd. Instead of putting a cool down match there, that's what they did. They used a 2-minute like crappy match and no one cared about. Then it's a big match. So that's perfect.
Probably
I love this
two or three more matches could be added total to the WrestleMania, and then you got 5 and 5. You know,
what do you think about this? And this isn't just this year's WrestleMania. This is WrestleMania beyond and forever. Get rid of Money in the Bank. Get rid of it. Get rid of Money in the Bank. The pay-per-view. Put it back on WrestleMania, man. Have the women's on night one.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
That's what needs to happen,
yes,
brother.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't need to be its own thing. It should be on WrestleMania.
What? You know what? I guess this is its own. This could be a show. But what pay-per-view or PLE should WWE bring back? That's something to say. Like, if you're gonna take Money in the Bank, what's a PLE that you're like, man, I would like to see that one back? I haven't one in my head right now, but I'm gonna wait. I want to hear from you. Is there a PLE that you're like, man, I would love to see that one come back?
You're gonna say Halloween Havoc.
No, I wasn't.
I don't want it to be NXT Halloween Havoc. I want it to be main roster Halloween Havoc.
Yes, I'm down with that. I'd love that they, obviously the guys are too old now, but I would love to see at least a tribute to that. Halloween Havoc's a good one. Taboo Tuesday.
Okay.
You remember Taboo Tuesday?
Yeah.
That was fun. When you didn't know what the matches were going to be, you knew that these guys were going to fight, but you didn't know what type of matches it would be. And they say, the stipulations, okay, fans, go online, you go to WWE, maybe you use a Twitter now, you go to WWE.com and you vote on where that match should be. I mean, there was matches where you're like, oh, it's Ric Flair versus, I forgot who it was. And then, it was a cage match. Austin is a special guest referee because he was voted that way. I think that's really cool. And who knows if that was legitimate or not, but I always thought that was a fun,
it's cool
PLA pay-per-view. Yeah. So Cyber Sunday, I think, right? Was Taboo, isn't that what it's called now?
It was both. It was Cyber Sunday and Taboo Tuesday. So they've had them both. So,
okay. So
I like that concept. That's a great concept,
but I would love to see a tribute to WCW's old pay, like Halloween Havoc. That would be fun. That would be a cool thing to do. If WWE just do it, something like that.
I just think that when you win Money in the Bank, yes, it's cool that it has its own whatever, but it's 2 big ladder matches in the same night, and you always compare the two. It'd be so much cooler to have them on the women's. You could switch them up. Doesn't matter night 1, night 2, whatever you decide. But that's where it should be because that's WrestleMania. You got your moment there at WrestleMania. You won Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. So that should mean something. It shouldn't just be a pay-per-view. I like what Anthony just said. ECW pay-per-views, like have a one-night stand or
ECW one night stand. The two of them, the original 2, starting with the first one. I was not an ECW guy. I was not an ECW guy at all. It was WCW and then very few WWF, WWE. I was mainly WCW. But ECW one night stand is one of the best wrestling events that I've watched. I loved watching that. Mike Awesome was awesome. I enjoy watching Mike Awesome. I forgot the name of the guy he wrestled, but that was a fun match. John Cena versus RVD was great. You know what I mean?
It holds up today.
It does. It's there's a lot. Like, if you have not seen ECW one night stand part 1, part 2, I'm talking about year after year, go back and do it. That's a fun event. And it made you go, man, but I was never into ECW. I was into one night stands, but I wasn't never into ECW. But yeah, and then shout out to WCW with their YouTube, WWE for bringing up the WCW YouTube page. I watch that a lot. I do enjoy sitting down and watching WCW YouTube. It's a fun thing, and I think we should, like I told you last time, I think that would be a fun show. To sit, maybe watch a match and kind of critique that match. And
you know what, brother? 2 weeks. Let's do one. 2 weeks, not next week. So it gives us this whole week to discuss which match we're gonna do.
Okay,
let's do it.
I'm down. Let's do it. Let's find a match, and then we'll have the little picture on the side so people know what we're watching. Obviously, we're not going to put it because it'll get smacked by YouTube. But do you like the Night of Champions pay-per-view or not really? I would prefer Clash Champions, and I would prefer if Night of Champions was every match was a title match. That's the only matches we should see on that type of card. That's how I see it.
I don't like the idea of champion versus champion in any scenario. I didn't S on your point, Bobby, when you brought it up because it's your opinion. But so I'm just answering Anthony. No, I would not like it if it's like champion versus champion. I think that's
like
cool.
For me, like, okay, every match, if it's 6 matches on that card, all of it's a title match. So you have the world title at the main event, you have the IC title on the line, you have maybe the undisputed title. instead of like, 3 matches are non-world title matches, and then you have the 2. I would say if it's Night of Champions, every match is a title match. That I think would be a cool way to do that card.
And I want to answer this question before we do dip out. As if I was a Tony Khan money mark, World War III, 3 rings, 90 competitors, just like WCW. That's the pay-per-view you want to see. Get rid of the Royal Rumble. We're moving to everything to the World War III. I thought that was the coolest concept of all time. They had the 90 people.
Oh, dude, no counting. So just cool, get them all in there. I wish they would do that just one time. Maybe at like the Saudi Arabia show, do instead of the greatest Royal Rumble, do World War III, 3 rings. I'm down, dude. WCW had the best pay-per-views. They had the best. They were so creative. Now I'm hyped for WWE 2K right now. I want to jump on and do like recreate. I wish you could do that though.
AEW has 2. I heard this on the Wrestling Observer. AEW has 216 wrestlers on contract.
I believe that. They'll sign anybody out of high school. Hey, you wrestle at the gym? Oh yeah, okay. You only weigh 50 pounds. All right, come on in. We got you.
Have you seen Speedball?
Alex, what is up? Alex Brown in the house.
Anthony, what's that guy's name on AEW? Speedball something. You got to watch this guy.
Okay.
You got to watch him. So they're having a match. They had a 4-way match, and the winner faces Kenny Omega for his title at the next pay-per-view Dynasty. And Speedball won, but someone else pinned. It was a fatal 4-way match, so it was a double pin. So when Speedball was doing the pin, somebody else came in there and cheated. Of course, it was a heel. I forgot who it was, but you got to see this Speedball guy. He is. He looks like he's 14 years old and he watched The Karate Kid. You got to watch it, dude. You got to see this guy. Speedball. What's his name, Anthony? Speedball what? Someone's got to tell me his name. I got to figure it out.
Alex, glad you're tuning in. If you're still watching, if you got I don't know if you have a new YouTube or not, or a new Twitter, excuse me, but DM me on Twitter or text me because I definitely want to get you on here, man, to come on with us for one of these episodes just to catch up and talk some wrestling, man, because I know you got a lot to say. Alex Brown, one of the former co-hosts of the No Holds Barred Wrestling podcast. So love to get you in here, man, to catch up on wrestling and what your thoughts are in the current landscape. But Josh, I know you are aching to get to your PS5 to play some 2K25. But before we wrap it up, any final thoughts?
Yeah, man. I'm excited to see Alex coming because I was on his show when this was his show, and he had me on, and it was always awesome. So, man, thanks for tuning in, Alex. DSG, you've always been great to me. Anthony, B McD, Crazy Dolphin, thank you guys all so much. I wish I would have told you guys earlier that we were going earlier, but that's why we turn these notifications on, people. In case moments like these,
it was a total up the cuff moment. We were like, hey, you know what? They want to do it? Let's do it. And we might do that next week. I think that's a great idea. I mean, if we go earlier, why not? Right? I mean, I think it's fun. We have a whole day to chill. We don't have to think about, oh my God, it's 8. We got to go.
Yep.
We could chill now. But anyway, yes, Alex, let's work on that. I definitely want to get you in here, talk more wrestling, maybe current landscape of WrestleMania. Maybe next week. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll have Alex with us. That will be fun. And then the weekend after, we'll go to WCW YouTube and do a live watch of a match. Watch live. Follow up on a match and just talk about it. So we'll have to just find a good one or one that we're interested in and just go with it. We'll just roll from
wants
there.
To hop in. We'll do a whole press conference. We'll do a whole thing. We're all scrum.
Oh, absolutely! A post WrestleMania show. I'm down with that, man. Let's do it. Maybe we'll get a full house in here, kind of like we do with the draft. We'll just do it with the show. You all right?
I'm thinking about that long night. But yeah, man.
We don't have to do it that day. I mean, we can.
I watch Mania. Like, here's the truth, people. I'll probably turn WrestleMania on, and I'll finish it the next day. And then the night 2, I'll turn WrestleMania on and I'll finish it Monday night or Monday morning. That's 1,000%.
We might have to do a special, maybe Monday edition or something like that. We'll have to do a special show because
we're doing pre-shows though. Pre-shows are what's up.
We'll do pre-shows
here. Pre-show for Mania. Post-show, your boy's gonna be asleep.
Yeah,
it was transparent.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that night. We do a post. Yeah, we could do it. We'll do it through the week. We could do an early one throughout the week or something. I don't know.
Oh, Alex, we had a 2-hour show.
We did a 2-hour meeting
I
when I
can't.
hosted. All right, man. But anyway, no, I think it'll be cool. All right, Alice, we'll connect. We'll get you on the next show, man, because I would love to get you back on here just to, to catch up. It'd be really cool. But anyway, guys, we appreciate you all tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, we'll be back next Saturday, more than likely in the afternoon, maybe, depending on what's going on. But I think it was cool. I enjoyed doing this. But anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow on the draft show. Peace.
Peace.